Everyone says that to do well in Singapore, you need to study smart, not just study hard. And as someone who scored always in my A-levels, here are 3 of my top tips for studying smart in Singapore. Now, the first thing is to always study in focused periods of time rather than scattered periods of time. Right? So you don't want to study for 30 minutes, 30 minutes, 30 minutes, 30 minutes. Right? Instead, you just want to study for 2 hours in a row straight. And the reason is because if you study for 2 hours in a row straight, you're going to be more focused during that time, right? You're going to study faster during that time. So you can actually study for 4 hours worth of content inside these 2 hours because you're going to study so much faster. So make sure to always block your study time into one big block so that you can be more focused and study faster. The second thing is to always study the topic that you're the weakest at. Right, I know so many students know this, but even though many students know this, they still study what they feel like studying instead of studying what they know they should study. You always want to start studying with your weakest topics because imagine if you could spend 1 hour studying, right? Let's say you study your best topic. You're going to improve by maybe 1% if you study your best topic. But if you spend that same 1 hour studying your weakest topic, you're going to improve by 5%, right? Your grades. And so that's what we want. Right, our goal is to always get the biggest improvement for the least amount of study time. And the last and the most important thing is to always prioritize high probability question types. So you all know I run a physics tuition center and many of my students will always be sending me questions to answer. And some of these questions are actually quite weird in the sense that they're not going to come out again. So whenever I get these questions, of course I'll answer my students, but I'll also tell them that, by the way, this question, I think this question is a bit weird. I don't think it's going to come out. I don't think you should be spending all your time on this question. I think that it's a better use of your time to be spending on more standard questions that are probably going to come out in the exam, right? So at the end of the day, we're all sitting for the exam and we want to score the highest in the exam. And that's why we want to target all those high probability question types, right? So these are my top 3 tips for studying smart. And also, if you want to get tutored by me at my physics tuition center, just go ahead and WhatsApp this number over here and I'll send you the details.